everyone, and welcome to the bonus kickoff call where I talk about the three game changing lessons I wish I knew sooner about Instagram. So, my name is Lydia, and I had a coaching business which I started from scratch in 2021. And up to today, I have just launched my second IG business, which is social.schoolsg, teaching people and coaches about create confident social media content. And today I just want to come in and share a little bit about my Facebook live event. So it has been 1 year since I last appeared here because I gave birth to a young boy. I have two kids, and I was spending the first entire year, pretty much August, September, taking care of him like a lot. And this time around, I just wanted to talk about, it was pretty challenging, to be honest, but things got back on speed in September, and here I am sharing with everybody about how to manage social media in the most time efficient way, right? Put your hands up if you are a young parent yourself, and perhaps that you have a brimming idea. Maybe I want to start a fitness business, maybe I want to start a catering business, I want to start a baking business, but you have no business if you cannot do social media, right? Point blank, you don't know, you cannot sell anything in this day and age. People are going on to your Instagram first. People are actually going on to Instagram like it's Google already. TikTok is like the upcoming next thing, but of course TikTok appeals to a different audience. But Instagram is where people buy stuff. People go onto Instagram looking for information, looking for tips. In fact, like searching it like YouTube. So the problem is that if you are wanting to have a business, you gotta be on Instagram. And the thing about Instagram, when I started 3 years ago, is that it is far more competitive than where it was when I started. When I started 3 years ago, Reels was just coming up. It was so easy to get go viral, 100, 200 likes. It was so easy. But right now, especially new accounts get restricted. In fact, I'm going through that phase. Old accounts also get restricted. So there's a lot of things about Instagram. If you are just touching the surface, sometimes you're checking in, you're not even posting consistently because you don't know what content to post, or you don't even engage with people. You don't have people liking your stuff. Then boom, then that is when crickets happen. Crickets, i.e. nobody's reacting to your stuff. All right, so before, if you're really excited, then drop me a word social, and I'll be sending you the Linktree access where you can have the replays. Yeah, I'm even giving you a drive where I'm giving you the exclusive goodies, cheat sheets, how to create a sustainable engagement routine, which I had devised everything for myself. And you'll be on your way if you want to make 2025 a year of social success. All right, so let's get started. Just some background about myself if you guys don't know about me. My name is Lydia. I set up my first coaching business in 2021, and back then my niche was a time and productivity coach, where I help moms, especially women, get started on how to handle their calendar when they're feeling very overwhelmed and exhausted. So the word burnout, I know that exactly. I know fully like what it is to burn out. In fact, in my whole past 10 years of where I was in financial services industry, I was burnt out like so many times, and to the point where I think that success equals to burnout. Right? If you want to have success, you want to get burnout. Until when I started having coaching business, I started realizing about social media. I started realizing how to use time in a very effective manner. And in fact, a lot of it got to do with your mindset, which I'm going to talk about, especially for day one tomorrow. Mindset is the most important thing in anything that you do. In fact, if I could it is actually the number one lesson that if I will talk about later. It is, if I could have anything to turn back time, it would be having my mindset the right way before I started social media. Okay, then 2022 was a milestone year where I hit about 100K in 14 months. While 48-hour no work weekends, I had no helper, but of course I just only had a kid, so I always put him in childcare and then I'm off doing my things. Okay, and then 3-day work week. In 1.5 years, I only had about less than 10 clients, but I had about $50,000. So how was this possible? That was because my content was very converting. That was because I built very deep relationships, and of course I do give credit to my sales experience. I know how to convert people. I know how to have sales conversations, and afterwards, I had my second baby. I quit my career. I quit my financial services career, and up to right now, I have a 70.3K coaching business with less than 1,000 or 100 followers. So in case you are somebody who's sitting there thinking that I want to make coaching a business for me, I want to start selling things, I want to start selling small handicrafts that I'm very interested in, but guess what, I need to know everything about Instagram. I need to be on Instagram all the time and it burns me out because I have a full day job. Then guess what, you don't need like a big following. You just need people who are warmed up to what you're selling. You need to know how to engage them. Stories, every little bits and piece on Instagram comes into play into giving you social success. Okay, and right now in end 2024 was when I started, and right now I kickstart my second IG business. So why social media? As again, like I mentioned, that there is no business without social media, and people are using Instagram like it is Google. Okay, and if it's the first lesson, I'm just gonna dive in straight. First lesson 101 is to master mindset. It is the one to unlock success so much faster. So you see, I spent about 2 to 3 years creating a lot of content. But when I was looking back on my content, shucks, I realized my captions wasn't working, my hashtags. But of course, this is what social media is. Social media is an experimental ground, and this is the mindset shift that we have to look at instead of trying to think that I have to know exactly what to post. I have to have the perfect post, because guess what? People don't even remember what you post 3 months ago, right? And the one taboo and one thing that people tend to do is to always delete the bad performing posts. No, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be looking at all these posts as analytics, as information about how I can produce better content. Okay, the if I could have a certain mindset, is that good is good enough. If I have an idea that's 50%, it works, and I'm just diving into it already. Because along the way in my social media journey, I discovered how it's like to uncover perfectionist syndrome. Okay, oh my gosh, if I post this post, people are going to will they like it? Or like, oh my gosh, nobody likes it. Like, how come and then you find yourself furiously checking within the next 24 hours, nobody is watching your post, or nobody is even liking, and shucks, it means that my post is not good enough. It means that nobody likes me. It means that I will never be able to succeed. We put a lot of heavy loaded and unnecessary meaning onto all these inferences. Okay, all these are just results, like social media results, and sometimes there's so many things that can come in. Like, for example, maybe the engagement time is wrong. Maybe you are posting something that did not have any form of viral content, and Instagram is very picky. The moment that it pushes out to people are not clicking, and then that's when you will hear crickets. Okay, and there is a lot of things that we learn, but are we taking that learning approach to social media, or are we taking it as like a very personal I don't know, vendetta, personal, a lot of personal meaning to it, right? If we actually learn how to experiment, if we actually learn how to adopt a trial and error mindset about the idea of failing forward fast, about keep posting content, but of course not blindly posting, but to like, okay, let me look at this content, nobody is liking it, the reels are not working, then what is missing? Let me see. Fixing every single thing bit by bit, okay, will get you to progress much faster, rather than sitting there trying to come up with the perfect content, trying to come up with the perfect post. And we have got to be less focused on what other people think, and to focus on, this is my growth journey. Okay, but of course, not being which I will identify in the third lesson later on, is that we are not just sitting there and thinking that it is just about like, oh, I can take all my time in the world, because guess what, 2-3 years will pass by and you're still at the stage of client research. Okay, and I have had clients like that when I coached them 2 to 3 years ago, and where they were, and right now after I got pregnant, I popped a kid, I'm starting on my second IG business, and they say that, oh, I got to go back to the drawing board and work on client research. But the fact is that they have not moved past their mindset blocks. They are still very focused on about what other people think, and they take it very personally when like nobody likes their post, when nobody is engaging with their stuff, and that is when they keep posting their heart out, and then they think to themselves that this business is not working for me. So what value am I giving to people, right? Because Instagram is very picky, especially social media. People have only 1 to 2 seconds of patience to look at your stuff. What value am I giving to people? In fact, you gotta have a little bit of over giving first before you can start having people coming in, because people want to only be associated with value. People want to be having their time worthwhile sitting on your page. So it's very important for you not to just be thinking about what other people are thinking and letting that stop you. Okay, and I find one of the very great things that I did, especially when I started my coaching business, was that I was learning from someone. I was learning on the side, and I was experimenting at the same time. Of course, I did not have the perfect mindset. I did not have the resilient mindset that I have today, which of course made my second business launch a lot faster. Like I think within within 2 weeks, I had like 3 or 4 reels that already hit more than 1,500, close to 1,500 views each already, and that way supersedes my old account. Okay, but of course there's a difference when I in those with starting new account. But what I realized is that when I was learning on the side, I was experimenting. I learned a lot faster rather than just take picture, rather than just sitting on the sides and reading all the information, watching all the information, because in social media is something that you have to try. It may work for somebody else, but you have a certain brand essence, which of course I'm going to talk about it if you actually join, if I can touch upon it upon the next 3 days. Finding your brand essence, finding something that actually works for you authentically, and especially for coaches, that's very important. Hey, sometimes we may look at other people and be like, oh, I want to adopt this very professional look, but it doesn't sync with your personality. It doesn't sync with your content. It also doesn't sync with the audience that you're attracting. And that becomes a big problem, because you end up going on this, like, imagine like, if you want to take a flight to like Italy, but you end up taking a ship to China, right? You're totally going in different destinations. Okay, now the second lesson that I will dive in is social media has to be time efficient, and it is a sustainable long-term game. Oh, hi Rayson, thank you. Okay, social media is time efficient, sustainable, and it's a long-term game. This is where my time efficiency and my productivity expertise come into play, aside from mindset being the first lesson, because social media has to be long-term if you don't want to get burnout. Okay, maybe you are an MC having a social media presence where you kind of keep posting up content, and the algorithm for Instagram changes very fast. Like what I learned from, I paid shitloads of money to somebody, and I learned so much from them, even having their cheat sheets and all that. But right now with AI, we're talking about ChatGPT, we're talking about Opus Clips, all these have like just thrown all of the content like out of the window. You just think about how fast technology is, and social media is called media for a reason, is in it. Okay, so social media has changed to be long term. Hey, you gotta have a sustainable way of managing your energy or managing your stamina, because this is an endurance marathon. Okay, this is the reason how I'm able to sustain, like even 3 years later, I even managed to change it to a full-time career. And of course, because it is no longer about short-term success. It is no longer about having that shot of viral reel and then like boom, you have people flooding in. No, you gotta, people are looking for consistency. People are looking for like when you get your post, like nobody likes your post, but you're still like working on it. Every month you're coming up with like new ways of attracting them, of engaging content. And somebody that's watching your content maybe 2 to 3 months ago, and they may be silently watching you, but you have no idea. That's the thing. Okay, they are silently watching you, but you have no idea. Okay, you gotta be time efficient. You gotta be sustainable. You gotta have a long-term game. Every little thing that we do today adds in the seeds. For example, now I'm having the Facebook Live event. Am I concerned that not 100 people are signing up? No, I'm not concerned, because I know that this is gonna be a permanent freebie. I have a whole game plan of how to make it on replay, so available, so that whoever who's coming in 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year later can still access to this effort that I am planting right now. It is planting the seeds. So you gotta have that kind of mindset, planting the seeds. You are not looking for, you gotta be someone that's not looking for like immediate overnight success, because long gone are those days. Okay, and that is when my expertise, which I'm gonna share on day 2 about social media, about creating a very sustainable and time efficient routine. So in fact, for me, I not just have like one account. I have like, right now I have 2 accounts, and I have Facebook, and I'm also going to I'm also going to nail TikTok as well. If you are somebody that's building on social media presence, you have to find sustainability as your key priority. You cannot be burnout, because if you're burnout, you're going to be like, oh, you're going to ghost your audience, you're going to ghost on your content, and then when 3 months later, when you come back and you try to pick things up again, the algorithm no longer recognizes you anymore. Okay, so this is where on day 2, hang around, because on day 2 I'm going to be talking about time efficiency, and especially like I might be, or I'm also likely to give away my own I'll build my own cheat sheet. So if you actually RSVP social to me, I'll be dropping you the video playlist across these 5 days. Okay, and I'll be there every day, daily. Okay, next 3 days I'll be dropping in a daily cheat sheet, especially for engagement routine, because engagement is something that you have to do almost every day. But how to inbuild that as part of my lifestyle, how to not see it as a chore, how to not be like, and especially I want to talk about us being young parents, right? Because we are parents, we are busy, we have not just had 1 kid, 2 kids, some of us have 3 kids, but social media business is something that we still want to do. We don't want to give up on our dreams, which is what I talk a lot about in my mindset success page. Then yes, you have to be time efficient. You have to find blocks of time, being smart with time, so that you can make this social media a social success, especially for 2025. Okay, last lesson. Okay, know what you can control and what you can't. Okay, so many people I have seen, like when I look at your page, I know exactly like what's working and what's not working, or like when I speak to people, I know exactly where is the pain points. So I think about a couple of posts ago, okay, I did come up with a series of skits, okay, where real role play. And that was fun to do. And then someone actually told me that, oh yes, I want to do the same as well. I really like what you said about, we're just trusting the universe, and we're not, and we're just trusting that God will actually handle the results. Okay, I caught you right there. There is a fine line between trusting the universe and hiding. So when I actually went onto this person's account and I was just browsing through, and her account just popped up to me. Again, she was posting her heart out, but there was only 1 like, or some of the posts don't even have any likes. You got to be honest with yourself, because visibility mind blocks is something that has to be actively worked on, especially on social media. Visibility mind blocks was also something that I had to overcome, okay, because it is not easy to be seen. Okay, what I mean about that is that we tend to, especially human nature, okay, we tend to be very conscious about what other people think about us. But and then sometimes when we just post our heart out, we are like, okay, I want to be an authentic coach, but do I really need to go on trending reels because that is not me? See, when we actually know what we can control and what we can't control, what we can control is understanding the strategy, doing whatever it takes to make the algorithm like us. When I mean algorithm like us, there's a certain strategy to it. We gotta make sure that we check all these boxes, because before we can say that, I finally let the universe settle, bring the clients to me, because no clients will come if you're not doing your correct strategy, if you are not if you're not riding, especially on trends, because it is a trending industry. Then you got to be honest with yourself if you are hiding. And that is a very big that's a very big factor. People come up with imposter syndrome. People really engage, goes on their account, and then 1 year later they come back to the same account and they'll be like, yeah, I want to make this a success, but I'm still stuck. Okay, because the moral of the story is that let's wind back. Okay, let's wind back. To have to convert, to have clients, you need to have followers. Okay, but in order to have followers, you gotta have views, and in order to have views, you gotta have converting content, which means that when people land onto your page, they look at everything, the feed is cohesive, you have a very strong message, you have all the content speaks to the correct follower, the correct avatar, then yes, boom, you have someone that has raised from 30% to 60% to even 80% of nurturing after watching your content repeatedly. So that was how I actually got myself out of the 100 views jail. Okay, when I actually sometimes I post stuff, I get 100, and then it was very frustrating, 100 200 views, and how I skyrocketed in my another account, which that's why I say I go back to a trial and error mindset. I was willing to try new things, and willing to sometimes also, that's why my account is unrestricted because I have too many people commenting and I respond back, okay, to 1,300 views or 1,500 views, people watching my content. So you gotta get the algorithm to like you. It's kind of like we are, back in school. And if we are back in school, we can be the best kid. We can be the kid that knows every single thing about what the teacher is saying. We want to be the teacher's pet, but in order to get opportunities for whatever it is, for like competitions, or be nominated to be the class prefect, or get to be on the class committee, the teacher has to notice you. Okay, that's like the 101, the teacher has to notice you. So you can be that smartest kid, you have to write, you know exactly whatever the teacher is teaching, you can answer all the questions, you do all your homework, you submit all your homework, but guess what, you don't raise your hand up to speak, you don't answer the teacher's questions, you're always shying in a corner like a wallflower, then the algorithm will not be able to recognize you, and the teacher doesn't know you, and then that's when you will not get your opportunities. It's the same in the corporate workplace, right? Like when people talk about emceeing, and when I think about this, it's about I think about Crystal Lim, when she actually talks about people emceeing, right? If you want more opportunities, your boss has to know you, your boss has to know you, people gotta know you. It's about who knows you, rather than, yes, you know what to do, but who knows you, right? So we got to remove the meaning block behind okay, nobody liking my post. Okay, what does it mean? It means nobody likes me, I'm just a wallflower. All my content, no, I will not be able to make this work. So that is why accounts have been stuck in that same mode, like maybe 300 400, and then you're still circling around the same type of content, the same type of target audience, and that's why you're not able to break through even after you started your account for 3 years. So I hope that these are the 3 lessons that I really wish I knew earlier. Okay, I was stuck on the what I try to control the results, or that I went through that as well. But right now I'm in the zone where I check all the boxes, where I make sure I do my engagement, I make sure I get my captions right, I make sure I write on the trending reels, the timing and everything. I hit like 99% of whatever that is necessary, and that is when I boom, yes, I let the universe bring the right clients to me, and I let nature take its course. But before that, I did not have that. I even went through a phase where I was posting all my content. I was like, shucks, why is it not working? Why is it not working? But back then I was taking care of my kids, so of course I only had limited energy. So again, lesson number one, just a recap: mastering mindset unlocks success much faster. Number two, social media is time efficient, sustainable, and a long-term game. Okay, which I will talk about in day two. Day one, I'll talk about mindset success. Tomorrow, I'll talk about mindset. It's a whole jam-packed session about the power of mindset and how I actually see that play out differently between my first account and my second account. And the third lesson is know what you can control and what you can't. You can control things like your engagement routine, your strategy, knowing your target audience, making sure that you niche, making sure that you check all the boxes, right? But what we can and we do not want to control is about badgering people to come in, badgering people to buy. We do not want that. We do not want to push sales to people. That is the part that we can't control. We cannot control the views. We cannot control that, but we can control the strategy. We can control the target audience that we are reaching out to, which has to be mapped out very strategically if you want your account to be working in a very successful way the moment you launch it. We do not want to keep launching stuff and wasting energy. We are here for sustainable, long-term, and time efficiency. Alright, so that's the end of my welcome call, and I thank you for watching this. This is up on replay, especially for those who have RSVP'd me. I'll be sending you this. I'll be putting all this on the playlist. You'll be on my WhatsApp broadcast. So if you're watching this and you really like my content, then you can RSVP me social or DM me, whatever, on Facebook or Instagram, wherever you have, or whether all my stuff is all over. You'll be able to see the promotions, and I'll be in touch with you for the form. You can fill it in so that I can send you the replay access. Okay, hang around for the next 3 days, and it's a full week of daily webinars on my Facebook. So stick around, and I'll see you. Bye.